Oh, I didn't see y'all there. I'm Tony Romo. Now I know what you're probably thinking right now. How did I lose to the Jets on Sunday? Well, people keep calling me a choke artist. They say I'm not fit to wear the star on my helmet. But you know what Jason told me? He said, Tony, you need to go to your safe place. You need to go relax a little bit. Take your mind off. So I'm chilling here with Woody here. And a big old glass of milk. Oh yeah. Mom's cookies waiting in the oven. To the Cowboys! I can't stop choking. Once again, my friend Tony Romo is a big fat choker.
Yeah, that's definitely true. The Jets coming back. Jets, Jets. I got to give it to you guys. Welcome to another episode, week 2 of Calling You Out Sports. Guys, it was a crazy week 1. Things happening that I wouldn't even expect. The Bears beat the Falcons.
The Bills beat the Chiefs.
And Cam Newton threw for 422 yards and still lost.
Yeah, I told you he was going to do well. And how about the Ravens beating the Steelers? They got Flacco'd.
Guys, let's get into our week 2 picks.
Yeah. Next up are the two teams that could have looked worse in week 1. The Cleveland Browns visiting the Indianapolis Colts. To say the least, the Colts looked lost without Peyton Manning. Kerry Collins clearly wasn't ready to run this offense. However, there are also 2 more problems with the Indianapolis Colts. They couldn't run the ball, and they couldn't stop the run. Now, the Browns looked absolutely sloppy, to say the least. They lost to the Cincinnati Bengals, who I'm pretty sure weren't supposed to win a game until week 11. My boy with the best name in football, Colt McCoy, threw 2 touchdown passes. But Peyton Hillis, the Madden boy, was just held to 3 yards a carry, 57 yards over 17 carries. Yeah, you could have done better, bro. Look, guys, the bottom line is this. As sloppy as these 2 teams looked and played in game 1, it really comes down to this. If the Browns can't stop Bruce Gradkowski, are they really going to stop Kerry Collins? I don't think so. I got the Colts getting victory number 1.
Jaguars got a surprise win over the Titans last week. Last time these 2 teams played, the Jaguars edged out a 24-22 victory. But that team was led by David Garrard. Now you have Luke McCown. Luke McCown is not a runner. David Garrard was. So that forced the Jets to stay honest with the play-action pass. They won't need to do that anymore if the Jets force Luke McCown to pass early in this game. Jones-Drew ran for 123 yards last time these 2 teams met, so there's the key right there. Stop Maurice Jones-Drew. Force McCown to throw into the big Jets secondary, and you got yourself a win. Jets improve to 2-0. The next matchup, I think, is the game of the week when the San Diego Chargers go to New England to face those New England Patriots.
2 Super Bowl contenders, 2 elite quarterbacks. You guys say more?
I really want to pick San Diego in this one, but I'm going to have to go with the experience here. And I think Tom Brady is more of an elite and experienced quarterback with better weapons.
Well, you can't sit here and discount Philip Rivers' weapons at the same time. But you can also, at the same rate, say that Tom Brady has had much more postseason success as he obviously has. But it comes down to 2 things for me that I saw with the Chargers, why they're not going to win this game. 1, the special teams is weak. They gave up with, obviously that 103-yard touchdown of Percy Harvin. Their special teams are in shambles. Also, the kicking situation is a wreck. Nate Kading's out for the year. They haven't signed a kicker yet. What's their punter going to kick the field goals all year? The Patriots are more put together. Their pieces aren't falling apart. I got the Pats over the San Diego Superchargers.
Seahawks and Steelers. Enough said. At times it looked like the Seahawks had no way to start their offense, with Lynch only getting 13 attempts, 33 yards, and 2.5 yards a carry. Pete Carroll asked Tavares Jackson to throw the ball 37 times. Bro, I know he's my boy, but he's not going to win a game throwing the ball 37 times. Whereas the Steelers, where do I begin? Even with the problems on defense, the Steelers averaged 312 offensive yards. I don't see the Seahawks keeping pace with that. Big Ben was asked to throw the ball 41 times and got 280 yards. Whereas Tavares Jackson's 37 attempts only got him 197 yards. That's a big difference. Steelers get it together, and this time they win big over the Seahawks.
The Baltimore Ravens head down to Tennessee to visit those Titans. Did any team in Week 1 make a bigger statement than the Baltimore Ravens? 7 turnovers. The Ravens' offense looked absolutely superb. Joe Flacco, 3 touchdowns. Ray, 107 yards on the ground, 2 TDs. But what looked even better than that for Baltimore was their old defense. Now, as for the Tennessee Titans, they themselves almost had a comeback win. But they had to do it against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, Matty Hasselbeck also had 2 late touchdowns to keep it close. But let's be honest, people. The only reason the ball went that far is because he got hit that hard. Chris Johnson, the big holdout. The guy that won all this guaranteed money. Chris? Yoo-hoo! Tennessee Titans are asking the same question. I know what you're saying. He didn't have that long to practice. He was held out. Child, please. Ravens over the Titans.
Now we've got the Bears, who beat the Falcons last week, going up against the Saints, who showed a very impressive offense against the Packers, but still just came up a little too short.
Now, as far as the Saints' defense goes, Marty, you still got to be licking your chops if you're that defense with that Bears O-line. Seeing Jay Cutler with nothing but a giant bullseye on his chest.
Yeah, this matchup's going to be Jay Cutler versus Drew Brees. And who does Jay Cutler have to throw to? Who's Chicago's #1 wide receiver? While Drew Brees has all the weapons in the world and the 3-headed monster. I've got the Saints in this one over the Bears.
The Bears. Raiders! Against the Buffalo Bills. Raiders open up the season with a 23-20 victory over the Denver Broncos, their 8th straight AFC West victory. Big ups to Hugh Jackson. You got your first W in your very first game coached. Sebastian Janikowski. Polish power! How about the Bills? They put a 40-burger up on the Chiefs. You know, the last time the Bills put up 40 points, it was 1992. You know what else happened in 1992 for the Bills? Oh. Don't get too excited. They're not going to the playoffs anytime soon. Ryan Fitzpatrick had 4 touchdown passes. The unknown tight end Scott Chandler had 2 touchdown passes. And they managed to hold Jamal Charles to 56 yards rushing. But do you really think that D-line's going to stop Run DMC? Hell no! McFadden had 150 yards on the ground. The Raiders last year were the best rush offense in the league. It's going to be the Raiders over the Bills.
So in this matchup, we've got the Cards going up against the Skins. The Skins team looked like they were on the up and up. This team might actually be good this year.
I will say this, Marty. Rex Grossman looked kind of good last Sunday, and he's playing another horrible pass defense in the Arizona Cardinals, so he should have a good time with that. On the other hand, you got Kevin Cobb, who knows a thing too about the Redskins defense, being a Philadelphia Eagle at one time. So I think it's going to be a pretty even-Steven matchup.
Like I said, they're going to have to rely on Rex Grossman because Tim Hightower, who seems to be the main back for Washington this year, he's a north and south runner, and the Cardinals are going to have him figured out.
I got the Cardinals, Larry Fitz and company over the Skins, the dead Skins.
Last Sunday, Tony Romo and the Cowgirls blew a big game. Both the Cowboys and the 49ers allowed 5 sacks on their QBs. But the 49ers played some tough defense. 49ers playing tough defense? I really want to pick the 49ers in this one. Problem is they played well against a bad Seahawks team. And they only converted 1 time out of 12 third down attempts. Rob Ryan is going to bring Alex Smith and the 49ers back down to earth. Big D is going to use the running game and the play action. Big D gets the win in San Francisco.
I got the Houston Texans going against the Fish, the Miami Dolphins. Now, even though Tom Brady lit the Dolphins' D up like a Christmas tree in Rockefeller Center, the Dolphins do have some good to take out of this. Chet Henne actually looked pretty decent. Brandon Marshall caught 140 yards, even though he probably could have been targeted a little bit more. As for the Texans last week against the Colts, well, no Foster, no problem. The combination of Ben Tate and Derek Ward, along with 100 receiving yards by Andrew Johnson, meant doomsday for Indianapolis. And unfortunately for the Fish, it's going to be the exact same thing. Since December 2009, ironically, when the Dolphins beat the Patriots last at home, the Dolphins are an abysmal 1-10 at home. That's not going to change this Sunday. Until they get that defense situated, it's not going to look pretty for Miami. I got the Texans over the Fins.
The Chiefs come limping in to take on the Lions. The youth movement might be dead. Only converting 3 out of 13 attempts on 3rd down. Bruh, that's pretty pathetic. It seems like the way to beat the Chiefs this year is to keep their receivers in check. If the Chiefs want a shot, they're going to have to keep Calvin Johnson, who had 6 catches, 88 yards, and 2 touchdowns, and the rest of this wide receiver core in check. The Lions are 3-2 at home in 3 different stadiums against the Chiefs. Keep the pressure on the Lions. A hurry-up offense would be really good. Don't allow Stafford to find his offensive weapons and force him out of the pocket. The Chiefs are going to come in hungry for a win, but the Lions just swallow them up. Lions over the Chiefs.
Next up, I've got the AO Bowl, the Anemic Offense Bowl, the Tampa Bay Bucks versus the Minnesota Vikings. Now, last week, Minnesota lost by only 7 points to the San Diego Chargers. Adrian Peterson had his 100 yards, but that was it. Marty's boy, Donovan McNabb, 39 yards passing. 39 yards passing? I think I could do that, dude. Now, the Bucks didn't get off to a good start. They lost to the Lions, also by 7 points. Josh Freeman kept him in the game with a touchdown to Mike Williams in the last couple minutes of the game, but LeGarrette Blount was nowhere to be seen. As for the game at hand, LeGarrette Blount, bad game last week. The Vikings D isn't going to make matters any better. LeGarrette Blount gets stuffed in week 2. Tampa Bay Bucks get their first win of the season over the Vikings on the road. That's right, they actually fixed the damn roof, and they're going to have a game in Minnesota.
Surprising, this game should be a good matchup. We saw Cam Newton's impressive loss, where he threw for 422 yards. But like I always say, it takes a team effort to win, doesn't it? We all know that the Packers' offense is great. But now you got to wonder about some holes that we saw. Because quite frankly, they gave up 477 yards of offense last game. And now we know that the Panthers have more than just a running attack. Key to this game and key to the season is the Panthers' offensive line. Now remember, Cam didn't even run the ball that much last game. Now that's scary. But Carolina's defense, which gave up 99 rushing yards against the Cardinals' shitty running game, I believe that Carolina's best bet is to run the ball against the Packers. But in the end, the Packers' offense wins it for them. Packers over the Panthers.
Next up, I got the undefeated, did I just really say that? The undefeated Cincinnati Bengals against the Denver Broncos in Colorado. What can I say, guys? The Bengals shocked the world. Andy Dalton didn't look half bad till his wrist got hurt. Cedric Benson looked solid too with 121 rushing yards. As far as Denver goes, well, let's just say it's already begun. Tebow, 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 Tebow. They're already calling his name because Kyle Orton looked that bad against the Raiders. You got to feel a little bit sorry for Brady Quinn this whole thing. I mean, after all, he is the number 2 quarterback on the depth chart. That's right, guys. I know you forgot he was still in the NFL. Kyle Orton was an absolute train wreck against the Raiders Monday night. I mean, he was missing wide receivers all kinds of different ways. A big loss for the Broncos D this week, though. Champ Bailey, Elvis Numerville, unlikely to play. Look, guys, if you can remember back to last year in Week 1, these two teams had a clash for the ages. This one's not going to be so much. I give Denver the edge in this one because A, they're home, and B, if Andy Dalton's out for this one, Bruce Gradkowski's certainly not going to beat Denver. Now, we're going to start closing up the show with a new segment on Coming Out Sports called the STUD Stud Awards and the Milk Carton Awards. And basically what that is, Marty, the Stud Awards are given to the 3 most outstanding performers of the week, in our eyes. And the Milk Carton Award, obviously, is the latter. You didn't show up, you were nowhere to be found. You stunk it up this week, dude. So, what do you say we get this rolling, kid?
Let's go. First of all, we'll get to the STUD studs.
Since these guys played so well, I'm going to give you a toast, because I'm awfully thirsty.
First, let's give a toast to Cam Newton, your boy. 422 yards he threw.
The rookie that came to the league, he wasn't going to hack it. He wasn't a number 1 pick. Well, guess what? He just shut your mouth and threw for over 400 yards. 422 to be exact. Hey, if he keeps playing like that, I think he's going to have a pretty solid NFL career if he can put together games like that. And he almost led the Panthers to a comeback victory. So, Mr. Newton, I salute you.
Our next toast goes to, of course, you guessed it, Tom Brady.
Mr. Brady.
511 passing yards.
Hey, for playing out of this world good, you get a stud award. Stud.
Finally, last but not least,
drum roll, please.
Ben Tate of the Houston Texans.
Arian Foster out. Ben Tate in. 116 rushing yards on the ground. Hey, if that's not an STUD stud, I don't know what is. Here's to you, Tate.
Guys, you're saying to yourself, I can't get enough of calling you out sports. What? The show's over with?
I want it. I need it. I gotta have more of it. So remember, like us on Facebook, subscribe to the channel,
Follow us on Twitter, and keep it real, keep it sexy, keep it cool, and we'll see you Sunday.